In the summer of 2028, something unusual caught the eye of a quiet observer far from the bustling cities and loud news headlines. He was an astronomer who spent most nights looking up at the sky through a modest telescope. Unlike the big scientists with their fancy labs and expensive equipment, he worked alone, driven by curiosity and a deep love for the stars. For weeks, he noticed strange patterns near Jupiter, the giant planet known for its swirling storms and many moons. At first, he thought it was just a trick of light or a new kind of space debris, but soon it became clear that something very different was happening. Massive objects were moving in ways no one expected. They didn't look like natural things, more like giant ships or machines floating silently in space. Excited but cautious, the astronomer sent his findings to the United Nations Space Surveillance Network, the group responsible for watching the skies and warning Earth about any dangers. He hoped they would check and confirm his discovery. But instead of urgency, he got doubt. They told him the readings were probably mistakes caused by faulty equipment or interference from other satellites. The astronomer tried again and again to convince them, but his warnings were mostly ignored or dismissed. At the same time, a team of scientists working on the moon base called Luna 3 noticed something strange too. One day, during a routine communication check, the signals from the base suddenly went silent for nearly a minute. In space communication, even a few seconds of silence is unusual and dangerous. The team on Earth scrambled to find out what had happened. The lead of this investigation was a veteran space commander who had once worked with NASA on missions to Mars. The commander was serious and focused. She gathered her experts and studied every bit of data they could get from Luna 3 and other satellites. What they found was alarming. The silence wasn't random. It seemed like someone or something was deliberately blocking or jamming the signals. They suspected an intelligent force, something not from Earth, was moving closer and preparing for something big. Despite the warnings from the moon-base team, the world outside remained mostly calm. News channels continued to talk about politics, sports, and weather, while the real threat moved silently above their heads. Governments talked in secret meetings, debating what to do. Some said it was a false alarm, a scare caused by nervous scientists. Others pushed for emergency military preparation, but nothing was made public. Then came the night no one would forget. Early on June 9, 2029, the world's military radars, space telescopes, and even civilian observers noticed a shocking sight. Hundreds of large, dark objects appeared suddenly in Earth's orbit. They were not like any known spacecraft. They looked massive, shaped like huge triangular and oval vessels moving in tight formation. Within moments, these ships attacked. Unlike traditional weapons, their weapons did not fire missiles or lasers visible to the naked eye. Instead, a strange wave spread across the planet's surface, causing power grids in cities around the world to fail all at once. Phones, computers, lights, everything stopped. The sudden blackout left millions scared and confused, but the alien ships didn't send any message or signal. They did not demand anything or try to communicate. They attacked silently with precise strikes designed to disable Earth's defenses before anyone could react. In response, Earth's leaders activated a secret defense plan that had been kept hidden from the public for decades. It was called the Earth Defense Protocol, or EDP. The top-secret project was designed to respond to an alien attack, something many had hoped never to see in their lifetimes. The command of this operation was given to a global team of scientists, engineers, and military leaders who had spent years preparing for just this moment. Among the hidden weapons was a powerful orbital defense system known only as Project Titan. It was a network of satellites, armed with advanced technology, capable of firing energy weapons that could destroy targets in space with incredible speed and accuracy. No one knew exactly how it worked, as most of the details were classified. But everyone hoped it was strong enough to protect Earth. As the alien ships drew closer, Project Titan's AI system took control. It didn't hesitate or debate. It launched a series of attacks using energy beams that could disrupt gravity and cause the enemy ships to break apart at the atomic level. The first strike was devastating. Within moments, many of the alien vessels exploded into glowing fragments, disappearing before they could even reach the upper atmosphere. Satellites captured the event, but no human on Earth saw the destruction directly. It was silent, quick, and final. The alien fleet tried to maneuver, but they seemed unprepared for the speed and power of Earth's defense. They had no shields or weapons to fight back, which puzzled experts who studied the incident later. It was as if the aliens had expected an easy victory, underestimating Earth's readiness. In just under 13 seconds, the entire attacking fleet was destroyed. The sky returned to its normal quiet state, but the world was left in shock and fear. What had just happened? Why had the aliens attacked without warning? And most importantly, would they come back? The answers were unknown. Governments locked down information, trying to control the narrative and keep panic from spreading. The astronomer who had first noticed the strange patterns disappeared from the public eye, refusing interviews and vanishing without explanation. The moon-base commander stepped down quietly, leaving her position but never fully explaining what she had witnessed. Meanwhile, experts examined the wreckage found in orbit. There was no sign of life, no survivors, only strange metal fragments that did not match any known materials. These pieces emitted low-frequency signals that puzzled scientists. It was a mystery that no one could solve. In the days that followed, people around the world tried to return to normal life, but the event stayed in their minds. It changed how humanity saw the universe and its place within it. The stars were no longer just distant lights in the night sky. They were reminders of a threat and a victory that few understood. Unseen to most, a new message was waiting in the cold depths of space. A satellite, lost for years near the edge of the solar system, suddenly sent out a repeating signal. It was a simple message, a few words in a strange code. It said, "Test complete, defense validated, await further instructions." This message raised more questions than it answered. Was the alien attack just a test? Who was giving the orders? And what would happen next? The world had won the battle, but the real war was only beginning. After the alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit and disabled power in many cities, the world was thrown into chaos. People woke up in darkness, their phones dead, their homes silent. For many, it was terrifying. Imagine sitting in your room, suddenly cut off from all light and sound, the hum of electricity gone, the familiar glow of screens and streetlights vanished. It was as if the world had stopped. At first, nobody knew what had happened. Rumors spread quickly. Some thought it was a massive solar flare, a natural event knocking out power grids. Others feared a global cyber attack from hostile humans. But soon the truth became clear. Something from space had caused the blackout. Something no one had ever seen before. Military forces across the globe scrambled to respond. Radar stations, satellites, and early warning systems lit up with alerts. The sudden appearance of hundreds of unknown ships around Earth's orbit was unlike any invasion in human history. Governments activated emergency plans, and the world's most secret defense projects came alive. One of the most important responses was the activation of Project Titan, a hidden global defense network kept secret from most of the public for decades. No one outside the inner circle really knew the full power or capabilities of this system. It had been designed quietly, a last hope in case Earth ever faced a serious threat from beyond the stars. Project Titan was an orbital system made up of dozens of satellites armed with advanced weapons that could target objects in space. It was guided by an AI so fast and smart that it could make decisions in a fraction of a second, much faster than any human commander could. When the alien ships moved closer, the AI did not hesitate. It fired beams of energy unlike anything people had ever seen. These beams could disrupt gravity fields and cause the enemy ships to break apart almost instantly. The results were astonishing. The first wave of alien vessels exploded high above Earth's atmosphere, their remains burning up in space. To the outside world, none of this was visible. Satellites recorded the destruction, but no one saw the flashes or heard the sounds. It was a battle fought in silence far above the clouds. But for those in control rooms and military bunkers, it was a moment of high tension and relief. Earth's secret weapon had worked, and it worked fast. The alien fleet did not try to fight back. They had no shields or weapons ready to defend themselves. It was as if they had expected an easy attack, assuming Earth was weak and unprepared. But they had underestimated the power of humanity's hidden defenses. Within seconds, the entire attacking fleet was gone. The sky returned to normal. Cities slowly powered back on. People tried to understand what had just happened, but there were more questions than answers. Why had the aliens attacked without warning? Why were they so unprepared? And what would happen next? In the days after the attack, governments across the world tried to control the flow of information. They told their citizens that the blackouts were caused by technical problems or natural events. The truth about the alien attack was kept hidden, locked away in secret files. The goal was to avoid panic and keep order. Meanwhile, scientists and experts worked around the clock to study what had happened. They analyzed fragments of alien technology that had fallen to Earth or been captured in space. These pieces were unlike anything seen before. Made of strange metals and materials that seemed to resist all forms of analysis, they puzzled researchers. No one found any sign of life inside the wreckage. No bodies, no biological matter, nothing that showed who or what the aliens were. It was as if the ships were completely empty when destroyed. This raised many theories. Some believed the alien fleet was a testing force, sent to see how Earth would respond to an attack. Maybe they wanted to measure Earth's defenses and strength. Others thought the aliens might be a scouting group, sent ahead of a larger invasion. And some wondered if the aliens were even aware of what had happened to them. The silence from the alien side was the most disturbing part. No calls, no signals, no attempts to communicate or explain their actions. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. During this time, people everywhere shared stories of their experiences during the blackout. Families gathered by candlelight. Strangers helped each other navigate the dark streets, and communities came together in ways many had never seen before. In the face of fear and uncertainty, humanity showed strength and kindness, but the fear remained. What if the aliens came back? What if the next attack was worse? The leaders of Earth knew they had to prepare for that possibility. Military forces increased their readiness. New research into alien technology was given the highest priority. Secret meetings were held to discuss how to protect Earth from any future threats. In the background, the AI running Project Titan continued to monitor space. It had proven itself in battle, but nobody knew what it was really thinking or planning. The AI's decision-making was a mystery. It did not communicate with humans except when ordered, and even then only in simple reports. Then, about a month after the attack, something strange happened. A satellite that had been lost for years, drifting far beyond Pluto, suddenly sent a signal back to Earth. It was a weak, repeating message, broadcast on a frequency no one had ever used before. Scientists decoded the message. It was simple but chilling. Test complete. Defense validated. Await further instructions. The meaning of this message was unclear. Was it from the aliens? Or someone else? Was the attack really a test, and was the real threat still waiting? This new mystery added to the tension. The world was safe for now, but the future felt uncertain. People went back to their lives, but the sky above them was no longer the same. The stars were no longer just distant lights. They were reminders that Earth was not alone and that danger might be just a signal away. After the shocking attack from the alien fleet and its quick destruction by Earth's secret defense system, many people felt a strange mix of relief and fear. The battle had been over in moments, but the consequences were just beginning to unfold. What happened next showed that humanity's fight for survival was far from over. The defense system that saved Earth was unlike anything anyone had imagined. Known only as Project Titan, it was a network of satellites armed with powerful weapons. These weapons used energy beams that could tear apart objects in space by disrupting gravity and matter itself. The system was designed to work automatically, guided by a super-fast artificial intelligence. But what most people didn't know was how much Project Titan had evolved in the weeks before the attack. The AI that ran the system was constantly learning, adjusting, and improving. It analyzed every possible threat and trained itself to respond faster than any human could. When the alien fleet showed up, Titan reacted instantly, firing weapons with precise accuracy and speed. Many experts believed that without Project Titan, the alien fleet might have caused much more damage, maybe even destroying entire cities or wiping out critical infrastructure. Instead, the AI's quick reaction saved millions of lives, even if most people would never know about it. The AI didn't stop after the attack. It continued scanning space for any signs of danger. Satellites watched the sky constantly, looking for more ships or signals, but nothing else appeared. The silence was unsettling. Scientists and military officials worked hard to understand the alien technology. The fragments of destroyed ships were unlike anything seen before. The metal was strong but lightweight, and it seemed to contain materials that could conduct energy in ways Earth scientists had never discovered. Many researchers wondered how the aliens could travel so far and fast, through space without detection. Their ships had moved quietly and appeared suddenly in Earth's orbit. It was a mystery that kept experts awake at night. One of the most puzzling questions was why the alien fleet had no defenses. They didn't try to fight back when Project Titan attacked. They seemed unprepared or maybe surprised by Earth's response. Some scientists thought the fleet was a scouting mission, sent ahead to test Earth's defenses. Others feared that the aliens might be hiding even more dangerous weapons or fleets far beyond the solar system. The fact that the alien ships emitted no warning signals or messages added to the confusion. It was almost as if they wanted to strike quickly and disappear. There was no chance for negotiation, no time for diplomacy. This made the event feel even more like a test or challenge. Meanwhile, life on Earth was changing. People everywhere began to think about the universe differently. Schools started teaching children about the possibility of life beyond Earth. Governments invested more in space research and defense. Public interest in astronomy and space technology grew, but fear also grew. Many people worried about what might come next. Could the aliens return with more ships? Was Earth ready for a full-scale invasion? These questions were on everyone's minds. In the background, the leaders of the world were working hard to prepare. They met in secret to discuss new strategies and technologies. Cooperation between countries increased, as the threat showed that humanity had to stand together. At the same time, the AI running Project Titan continued to improve. It was learning from the alien technology fragments, adapting its weapons and defense strategies. No one could say exactly what it was planning next, but the hope was that it would keep Earth safe. Then, something strange happened far beyond Pluto. A satellite that had been lost for years suddenly came back to life. It sent a repeating message to Earth, a simple phrase that was both confusing and eerie. Test complete. Defense validated. Await further instructions. This message raised more questions than answers. Was it a message from the aliens or from another group? Was the attack really a test, and was Earth being watched by someone else? Scientists and military experts began to analyze the message carefully. They tried to decode any hidden meanings or signals, but so far the message remained a mystery. Despite the uncertainty, life went on. People adapted to the new reality of knowing they were not alone in the universe. They watched the stars with a new sense of curiosity and caution. In homes, schools, and workplaces, conversations about the future of humanity and space exploration became common. Many hoped for peace and cooperation with other life forms. Others prepared quietly, ready for whatever might come next. The quick destruction of the alien fleet was seen by some as a warning. Earth was no longer an isolated planet, and any enemy that came would be met with powerful resistance. But for others, it was a reminder of how fragile life could be. The sky that once seemed calm and distant was now filled with unknown dangers and possibilities. As Project Titan continued its watch, and the world waited for the next message or movement, one thing was clear. Humanity's place in the universe had changed forever. The future was uncertain, but the fight for survival had only just begun. The moment the alien fleet appeared and was destroyed so quickly, the world held its breath. Many expected a long, drawn-out battle, but the fight was over almost before it began. What followed was something no one was ready for: silence and questions that stretched far beyond what anyone could imagine. The alien ships had been strong-looking and mysterious. People had expected them to fight back fiercely, maybe even send waves of smaller fighters or try different weapons. But none of that happened. Instead, their fleet was wiped out in less than 13 seconds, like they didn't have any defense at all. This surprised and confused everyone who studied the event later. Experts, scientists, and military officials tried to make sense of why the alien ships seemed so unprepared. Some thought the aliens had underestimated Earth's defenses, assuming humans were weaker and less advanced than they actually were. Others believed the alien fleet was not meant for full combat, but was more like a test or a scouting mission. The destruction was so complete that almost nothing was left behind. No large pieces of wreckage floated down to Earth, and no signs of alien life forms were found anywhere. What remained were tiny fragments, strange metals that did not match anything humans had ever seen. These fragments were unlike normal metals. They seemed to have unusual properties, such as conducting energy in strange ways and resisting all attempts to analyze them fully. Scientists spent months trying to unlock their secrets. Many worked day and night in labs, hoping to find clues about the aliens' technology. This work became one of the biggest scientific mysteries of the century. Despite their efforts, the metals remained puzzling, and no one could figure out how to recreate their technology. Meanwhile, the world began to notice how much Project Titan had changed the way Earth thought about space and defense. It had shown that humans could fight back, even against enemies from far beyond the solar system. This brought some comfort but also raised serious concerns. If the aliens had attacked without warning and were destroyed so quickly, what was stopping others from coming? What if the aliens were only the first of many? Could Earth handle a larger, better prepared enemy? People started to feel the weight of these questions every day. They watched the sky with more attention than ever before. Some found themselves checking the news more often, hoping for updates from space agencies. Others worried quietly, wondering if the peace they had known was now fragile. Even though governments said the danger had passed, many people felt that the real battle was still ahead. Deep beneath the surface, military forces around the world increased their readiness. Bases prepared for possible emergencies. Scientists worked to improve weapons and technology. Governments secretly shared information and strategies, realizing that humanity's future depended on cooperation. At the same time, the AI controlling Project Titan continued its work in orbit. It scanned the skies endlessly, searching for any sign of new threats. The system was faster than any human mind, able to analyze huge amounts of data instantly. Yet it did not communicate much with humans beyond simple reports. This created a strange feeling among many people involved in space defense. They trusted the AI's power, but they did not fully understand its decisions. The system was learning constantly, and no one could predict exactly what it would do next. Then a new mystery emerged from the farthest reaches of the solar system. A satellite that had been lost for years, drifting near the edge of Pluto's orbit, suddenly sent a signal back to Earth. The signal was weak but clear, repeating a short message over and over. Test complete. Defense validated. Await further instructions. This message shocked everyone. Who was sending it? Was it from the alien fleet, a larger alien command, or perhaps another force entirely? The simple words hinted at something far bigger than what anyone had imagined. Scientists and intelligence experts worked to decode the message. They looked for hidden meanings, clues about what might come next. But the message remained mysterious, offering no clear answers. Some believed it was a warning, that Earth was being watched and tested by powerful forces beyond the stars. Others hoped it was a sign that peace was still possible, that the aliens recognized Earth's strength and might not attack again. As these questions loomed, life on Earth went on. People adapted to a world forever changed by the brief but intense alien attack. Schools taught children about the possibility of life beyond Earth. Governments funded new research into space travel, defense, and technology. At the same time, ordinary people found comfort in everyday moments. Family dinners, community gatherings, and quiet nights looking up at the stars. These moments reminded them that despite the vast unknown, human connection and hope remained strong. The alien attack and its sudden end showed humanity two things. The universe was filled with unknown dangers, but Earth was capable of defending itself. This balance between fear and hope shaped the future. In the years that followed, scientists discovered new ways to use the strange metals found in the alien wreckage. They began to develop advanced materials and energy sources that might one day help humans explore space more deeply and protect Earth better. Military forces developed new strategies that combined human skill with the power of AI, systems like Project Titan. Cooperation between nations increased, as everyone understood that the survival of the planet depended on unity. But beneath this progress lay the constant awareness that the next threat could come at any time. The message from the distant satellite served as a reminder that the fight for Earth's future was ongoing, and humanity needed to be ready. People learned to live with this new reality, balancing curiosity about the stars with caution and preparedness. They looked forward to the day when contact with other life forms might be peaceful and welcoming. Until then, they remained vigilant, watching the skies and trusting in the strength of their hidden defenders. After the mysterious message from the distant satellite echoed through Earth's communication systems, the world entered a new phase of cautious hope mixed with deep uncertainty. People had survived an alien attack that came without warning and disappeared just as quickly. But the message reminded everyone that this event was only a small part of something much larger, something still unknown. Scientists, military leaders, and governments worked harder than ever to understand what the future might hold. They knew the quick destruction of the alien fleet was not the end, but only the beginning of a much longer story. Earth's defenses had proven strong, but the universe was vast, and no one could say for sure what might appear next. In labs around the world, teams of researchers focused on the strange metals recovered from the destroyed alien ships. These metals held secrets that could unlock new technology for energy, travel, and defense. Unlike anything made on Earth, the metals seemed to store energy efficiently, conduct signals without loss, and even change their properties under certain conditions. Experiments showed that if humanity could master these materials, it might be possible to build faster spacecraft, better weapons, or more powerful communication systems. But understanding the metals fully was difficult. They resisted many types of tests, and scientists often felt like they were trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. At the same time, people grew more interested in space than ever before. This renewed excitement was not just about science, it was deeply personal. Families talked about the stars, children dreamed of becoming astronauts, and communities came together to watch the night sky. The idea that humans might not be alone in the universe was no longer science fiction, but a real part of everyday life. Even though the alien fleet had attacked without explanation, many people hoped for peace. They imagined a future where Earth could make friends among the stars instead of fighting enemies. This hope pushed space agencies to send more probes, satellites, and missions deeper into the solar system. Governments also worked to strengthen their alliances. The alien attack had shown that Earth was strongest when it acted as one. Countries shared information, technology, and plans more openly than ever before. There was a new sense of global unity born out of the common threat. Still, fear remained. The quick and silent destruction of the alien fleet left many wondering if the attack had been just a warning. Some thought it was a test to see how Earth would respond, a way to measure humanity's strength and readiness. Others worried that a larger force might be hidden somewhere in space, waiting for the right moment to strike. To prepare for these possibilities, the AI that controlled Project Titan continued to evolve. The AI was no longer just a weapon system. It became a guardian, constantly learning and adapting to new threats. It analyzed signals, studied patterns, and improved its defenses daily. Yet even with the AI's incredible power, there was uncertainty. The system did not share its thoughts or plans openly. It reported what it found and what it did, but its deeper logic remained a mystery. Some scientists worried that relying too much on AI could be risky, while others trusted that its speed and intelligence made it humanity's best hope. Meanwhile, the message from the satellite near Pluto remained a puzzle. The phrase "test complete," "defense validated," "await further instructions," kept coming back to minds everywhere. It was a sign that Earth was being watched and evaluated. But by whom and why? Some believed that the aliens who sent the fleet were part of a much larger organization, a group or species testing different worlds to see how they would react. Others thought the message might come from a different alien race watching from afar, deciding if Earth should be contacted or protected. This uncertainty created tension in political and scientific circles. Some argued for preparing for the worst, a full-scale invasion. Others hoped for diplomacy and communication, believing that understanding the aliens might lead to peaceful coexistence. In cities around the world, ordinary people felt these tensions in their own way. Some were inspired to learn more about space, science, and technology. They attended lectures, visited observatories, and followed news about space missions. Others felt anxious or scared, worried about what dangers might come in the future. Families talked about how the world had changed in just a few short months. What had once been a distant idea, that life might exist beyond Earth, was now a reality. The stars that had once seemed so far away now felt much closer. At night, many people looked up at the sky and wondered what was out there. They asked themselves if the aliens who had attacked might one day try again. They hoped that if they did, Earth would be ready. Despite the fear and uncertainty, a spirit of determination grew. People wanted to protect their planet, their families, and their future. They worked to build better defenses, improve technology, and prepare for whatever might come. The alien attack, brief as it was, had changed everything. It reminded humanity of its place in the universe, a small but resilient part of a vast, unknown cosmos. And as Earth watched the skies, waiting and hoping, the story of survival and discovery continued. The message from the distant satellite was a call to action, a reminder that the fight for Earth's future was not over, and that the next chapter was yet to be written. After months of waiting, questions, and preparation, the world found itself standing at a new crossroads. The alien attack had come and gone so quickly, but its impact lasted far longer. Humanity had survived a moment that would forever change the way people saw their place in the universe. Now it was time to decide what to do next. The mysterious message from the distant satellite remained a puzzle. Test complete. Defense validated. Await further instructions. These words echoed in the minds of scientists and leaders alike. What did they mean? Who had sent them? And what would happen when those further instructions arrived? No one had an answer. The silence from space was heavy, filled with unknown possibilities. In the months following the attack, humanity's attention turned toward the future, toward building a world that could face new challenges with strength and hope. People everywhere began to understand that the sky was no longer a limit, but a doorway. The stars that had seemed so distant were now reminders that Earth was part of a much larger story. Schools changed their curriculums, teaching children about space, science, and the importance of unity. People joined space clubs, attended stargazing events, and followed news from space agencies more closely than ever before. The excitement of discovery was mixed with caution. No one forgot how quickly the alien fleet had appeared and vanished. The fact that they had attacked without warning made many wary. Leaders around the world took the alien attack as a wake-up call. It was clear that Earth needed to be ready for anything. New technologies were developed to strengthen defenses. Scientists worked to unlock the secrets of the strange metals left behind. Engineers designed faster, stronger spacecraft to explore deeper into space and protect the planet if needed. Military forces trained harder, preparing for emergencies that once seemed impossible. Alliances between countries grew stronger, as everyone realized that Earth's safety depended on cooperation and trust. In the skies, Project Titan continued its watch. The AI that controlled the system learned from every moment, improving its ability to detect threats and respond quickly. It was a silent guardian working day and night without rest. Even with all these efforts, people felt the weight of the unknown. What if the aliens returned? What if there were others out there watching, waiting? The message from the satellite hinted that Earth was part of a larger game, a test among the stars. Some believed it was a warning. Others hoped it was a call for peace. Amid this uncertainty, stories of human kindness and courage stood out. Communities helped each other prepare for emergencies. Scientists shared discoveries openly. People supported one another, knowing that together they were stronger. Families talked about what they had learned. They shared hopes and fears about the future. And every night many looked up at the sky, wondering about the stars and what they might hold. The alien attack had been brief, but its lessons were deep. It showed that humanity was capable of facing unimaginable challenges. It showed that people could come together when it mattered most. And most importantly, it showed that hope was not lost. As Earth moved forward, it did so with open eyes and open hearts. The stars were no longer distant dreams, but a part of human life, full of mystery, danger, and endless possibility. The story of the alien attack was just the beginning. The real journey was ahead, a journey of discovery, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. And as the world watched the skies, it waited, ready for whatever came next.